Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kim with Creative Crafticality, and today we are going to be making this super cute fall sign, and it is made from things that I found at the Goodwill, Dollar Tree, and from Walmart. So stay tuned and find out what you need to make this project. So for this project you will need a picture frame that is of your choice. Either pick one up from the Dollar Tree, but if you want a thicker one like I do, and one that is more substantial with wood, I picked one up at the Goodwill, and it was a $4.99 frame. You will need this sign from the Dollar Tree or something similar that's in the shape of a pumpkin. I have a roll of burlap ribbon, that was from the Dollar Tree. I have some turquoise felt, and this could be whatever color you want to paint yours, but I'm doing the turquoise and like the off-white and burlap for my fall decorations this year. I have two kinds of paint. This is the Waverly chalk paint from Walmart. This is fabulous paint. I have it in the colors of peacock and cashew, and you will need some jute twine. I have a paper plate to put my paint on. I have two paint brushes. I have my hot glue gun, and then I also have a bag to cover my workspace and some scissors. I will also be using one of these words that I had found at the Dollar Tree in the fall decor section, as well as a couple of these burlap leaves that I found at the Dollar Tree. So let's get this stuff cleared off and we will get started. So the first step is to take the glass and anything that you have inside your frame out of the frame. And if you have anything on the frame, you want to peel that off like I'm doing here. Next, I'm going to take some sandpaper and just lightly sand on the top because it has like a little finish on it. And I'm going to sand the back because it has glue and the paper that was covered on it. This was like a professionally framed picture. So I just want to get rid of that because I'm going to be painting it all the turquoise color. So I'll go ahead and do that. Another thing I wanted to mention was that I did pull out all the staples that were along the inside, and then I took out the hanger here, and then there were a couple staples that were holding that paper down on around the edge. So I did that, sanded it all. Now I'm going to pull in my paper bag, my plastic bag, to protect my surface here, and I'm going to paint both sides of it with my peacock colored chalk paint, and I will be back. So I finished with one coat of paint on my frame. I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll come back, paint the other side, let that dry, and then on the front I'm going to take my sandpaper again and just do a light sanding to kind of rough it up a little bit, give it that little rustic feel. While the frame is drying, I'm going to take my pumpkin sign here. I'm going to cut off the middle section because it's hanging by a string there. Set this aside because I'm not using this for this project. And then I'm going to take and paint this pumpkin with my cashew paint here. And I'm going to go ahead and paint both sides. And it's not necessary to paint the back side if you don't want to. I just like to have it finished on both sides. But if you're just going to be putting this, hanging this on the wall or whatever, and you're technically not going to see the back of it unless you're taking it off the wall. So it's up to you. I just like to keep things finished. Now I'm going to take the sandpaper and go over lightly just to add a little bit of texture and rough it up a little bit to make it a little bit more rustic. And it'll kind of show through the cream color that the original frame was painted. Now I'm going to take a dry brush and a little bit of my turquoise paint. I'm going to add some dimension and some faint lines on here to define the pumpkin a little bit. The next step is to take your pumpkin and your twine. I'm going to feed the twine through the hole. I'm going to turn my frame over, and using a little bit of hot glue, I'm going to hot glue this up in the top there. So I'm going to go ahead and tie a bow with my twine, or not a bow, but a knot with my twine. Make sure I have it placed inside the frame the way I want it, kind of like evenly spaced. I'm going to take my hot glue and put a line of hot glue up at the top here. And glue that right in there. And I'm going to go ahead and put some more hot glue over the top, just so that's secure in there. And I'll let that dry. Now, taking your burlap ribbon, cut yourself about 2 feet of the ribbon, and we are going to make a handle on the top, or a hanger on the top. And what I'm going to do is have it in half like this, pull it up from the front of the frame, and we're going to hot glue it in the back here. I'm going to come up about halfway on the frame. some hot glue. Just like that. And be sure to make it even here. I'm going to clip this off. So now I'm going to place a little bit of glue right under here so that this stays up at the top like that. It stays to the top of the frame. That. So now we're going to do a little bit of decorating on the frame. I want to use this welcome metal letter that I picked up at Dollar Tree, but I want to paint it first. So I'm going to be painting it with my Waverly chalk paint, the peacock color. Now this, I'm just going to hot glue right across the pumpkin. Kind of at an angle. So now I'd like to add these burlap leaves, and I'm not definite as to where I'm going to put them, but I think down here. And then I made this sunflower with the felt and the burlap, and I made one. I want to make another, so I was going to show you how I did that. So what I did was I took a piece of felt and I cut it in half the vertical way, and so it is 4.5 inches this way, and then this is at 5 inches. So cut yourself a piece of felt that is 4.5 by 5, and then what you're going to do is hold it the 5-inch way so it's horizontal and fold it in thirds, and you're just going to cut it into 3 pieces. So the easiest way to do that is just fold it in thirds, open it up, and use this as your line and cut that. And then cut this piece in half. Now you're going to fold each of those in half and cut those in half. They don't have to be exact. Just like that. And then each of those pieces will be doing the same thing. So you'll be folding them in thirds the long way, and then cutting them in thirds. So cut. And you'll do each one of those squares that way. So you end up with 18 little rectangles. You're going to take each of those little rectangles and you're going to round to a point on one of the ends. So just like this, and you're going to do that for all your little pieces. Now you need to cut a circle out of the felt. It's about 2 inches, and I just eyeballed the circle. You can use a Sharpie or whatever to trace, to trace the circle or draw it out, but it's about 2 inches. And then using that circle, go ahead and cut a square of your burlap. Use that as a template and cut around it. And then go ahead and add some hot glue and glue that down to your felt. Now turn the circle over and you're just going to start hot gluing your petals onto the back. And I divided it up into half, so count out 9 petals. And put 9 down on the first layer, and you're going to slightly overlap them and leave probably about 3/4 of an inch off the edge. And go all the way around. Now taking your second batch of 9 petals, you're going to glue them down in between the first layer, in between the petals. Alright, so I think I like this layout here with the 2 leaves at the bottom and the flower up at the top here and one down here. So I'm going to go ahead and use my hot glue and glue these all down, and we will be finished. Alright, so here it is. I really love how this turned out, and I can't wait to get it hung up on my front door. Now if you live in an area where you get rain or snow, I would definitely use E6000 on this just so the pieces don't come apart, because the hot glue doesn't always hold, either if it's wet or if you have hot weather, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, this looks great, and I'm gonna pop in a little shot here of it actually hung up so you can see how it looks that way. I really love it. I hope you do too. Give me a thumbs up if you did, leave me a comment and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time. This is Kim with Creative Crafticality. Bye. God bless.